I never did this streaming on YouTube, so I want to see if it's easy, but it seems okay. And 5:05, we can start officially the session. I think this YouTube streaming is working. That's good. Sorry, you will hear me on YouTube. That's how it works. But looks good. Okay. So 1 more minute and we can officially begin the meeting. I don't think there is a reason for to wait more. 1 more minute, and then if people join, that's good. If not, we will have the recording and the live streaming. So okay, everyone, I will click recording and then we will start. Record on now. Okay, so I think we can start. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our meeting today. My name is Camille Gungor. I am working as development officer and project assistant for ENIL, the European Network for Independent Living. Most of you probably know me, but yeah, it's good to introduce ourselves. Today, we will have an opportunity to meet the representatives of ENIL Youth Network and to discuss with them and what are the issues you think are important for young disabled people in Europe, how we should work in the future, and all these things. Before I continue, let me tell you that the session is recorded. It is also live streamed on YouTube and pasted on our Facebook. So afterwards, you can, share the link if you wish already watch it. You are free to open your cameras or to close them, whatever you feel better. But I would suggest those that don't speak to either mute, unless you are very, quiet, so that's okay. I mean, in a quiet place, so we don't have, a background noise. And if you have any questions, please, type them on the chat or raise your hand. Or if something of any of these options is not accessible to you, then please, just try to, just speak during our meetings. Try to not interrupt in a very important moment and wait a little bit when you find a good opportunity. And we have also real-time captioning in English. Thanks to Julia, thanks a lot for that. I pasted again in the chat the external link, but you can also open it through Zoom here. So it's up to you. And let me see if I forgot any other house room. I think no. For the moment, we have 3 board members of the Youth Network with us: Mima, Marietta, and Charlie. Maybe some of the other ones will join as well. I cannot promise that because, it's also busy schedule and, daytime, maybe they work or something. Sometimes things happen, but hopefully some of them will join. And I see now we have 10 people in total, but we might get more in the future. And on YouTube, we might have also some following. Okay, I spoke a lot. In case I speak too quickly, please stop me. Tell me to speak more in a better pace. Now I think it's a good opportunity to do a short presentation of our youth board members, so you know who is attending with the meeting at the moment. So I will start with the first person I see on my screen, and this is Mima. So Mima, hello. Would you like please to tell us who you are, where are you from, and more or less what is your work and what are your interests in the disability field? Thank you.
Thank you, Camille. Thank you to all of you who have joined this session. I'm Miroslava Mima Ivanovic, but people mostly call me Mima because it is more simple. I'm from Montenegro, and I'm 31 years old, a wheelchair user, and woman with visual impairment. I'm a lawyer with disabilities, actually very interested in disability law, but not only active in disability rights field as a lawyer, but also as a trainer for disability rights and in general for human rights. Also active as researcher, author and co-author of different studies, publications, and so on. Actually, I became a member of ENIL Youth Network Board in 2019, and this is, let's say, my first engagement in international disability rights movement of persons with disability. I became active in disability rights movement in Montenegro when I was very young. When I was 17, I became an active member of Association of Youth with Disabilities of Montenegro, where I also formally worked as a program assistant, then coordinator of legal program and anti-discrimination from 2013 until 2018, when I received a Fulbright scholarship and I went to USA to conduct postgraduate research in the field of disability law and policy. And after my return to Montenegro in 2019, I saw actually the call for new members of the ENIL Youth Network Board, and I decided to apply. So there are almost 2 years of my engagement in the ENIL Youth Network Board, and actually I can say that this experience enriched me very much, and I'm happy to hear from you which issues you see as most important for youth with disabilities in Europe, and do you face some challenge in your country or your local community where you see that ENIL Youth Network Board could provide you with help and with some knowledge, expertise, or support to overcome these challenges and barriers? So it's very short about me, and I would be happy to answer all your questions. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mima, for this introduction. You definitely do a lot of interesting stuff, as most of us here, I think, most of you here do. Now, without further ado, I will go to the next youth board member, and later, of course, we will have the opportunity to discuss, Mima, what you mentioned, and any other issues our attendees today would like to touch. Now I will go to the next lady. Charlie, allow me to start with the ladies first. So I will go to Marietta. And Marietta Mojasevic. She is the most experienced in the youth board, as she is actually doing her second term. But I will leave the rest to you, Marietta. So yeah, tell us, who is Marietta?
Hello to all of you. If any of you was in Brussels 2 years ago, there was a chance to meet me because I was taking part in previous youth board, which was happening, ENIL Freedom Drive, which was happening actually online, not online, but offline in real world. So it was 2 years ago, and I'm being active in ENIL, I think from 2015 or 16. I'm not sure anymore. So this is my second term as part of ENIL Youth Network, Youth Board, Youth Network Board. In Montenegro, I'm doing youth work mostly, with emphasis on the connecting on the fact that I'm trying to connect disability issue with not just youth work, but with all of spheres of social life, but mostly with talking to youth about how disability is influencing us as person with disabilities, how to overcome all obstacles that we have in our lives, and I'm trying to, well, not to teach them, because that's not my role, but to tell them a story, a different story, to try to give them other perspective on disability and persons with disabilities, especially other young people with disabilities, to try to help them to overcome stereotypes and prejudices that are not part of Montenegrin society, but part in general of all societies, I think. That is something that I like to do here. And I think that there is a lot of job to be done here. So I hope that I will have more opportunities in future to do it. And regarding ENIL's, my activity in ENIL, I'm also representing ENIL as a rapporteur on mainstreaming disability issue at Advisory Council on Youth of Council of Europe. So I'm reporting Joint Council on Youth of Council of Europe on all activities that are being taken in scope of Council of Europe regarding persons with disabilities. So that's my role at the moment, and I'm having that role till December or January. What I think that is current problem is, we will talk about it, but I think that COVID actually, all the pandemic situation that is happening all over the world, actually just pointed at main problems regarding persons with disabilities and all bad things that are bad done, and all the old problems in most of the societies regarding persons with disabilities. So we can talk about that too. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Marietta. Indeed, you all these years you do a lot of stuff for ENIL and for the rights of young disabled people. And we will have maybe more opportunities to discuss it a bit later. Now, for some gender balance, I will go to Charlie Willis from UK. Charlie is an also very active member of the disability movement, both in UK and on European level. But I will not speak more. I will give the floor to Charlie to introduce himself and to tell us a bit more about his life and experiences in the field. Charlie.
Thank you, Camille. Apparently, hi everyone, my name is Charlie Willis. Apparently I'm very active in the European sectors and UK sectors of disability activism. I'm not sure I would honestly agree with that. I think I used to be a bit more active than maybe I am now. But you know, as everyone here, I've kind of always been interested in disability and disability rights, and kind of really putting forward the rights argument around disability, because it is such a human issue. You know, it is something that will have an impact on everybody's life at some point. But I think that there's also the real kind of strength or recognition of talking about the importance of youth within that, and how do we kind of start or continue the discussions around young disabled people taking up elements of the disability movement and kind of really talking about the specific issues that we experience as young disabled people. I think in terms of my own work, I work very much in terms of employment and helping young disabled people, or just disabled people generally, find employment, and kind of using employment as a lever for change. I think that employment and having meaningful employment can really be a way of creating that, creating the wider change that we want to see within society. I think outside of kind of employability and getting more disabled people into the workplace, I'm very interested in how do disabled people become thought leaders, or how do we become present in every single sector of society, right? So outside of just disability, you know, and making it so that every issue is kind of a disability issue, or could be talked about from that perspective. And I think I'm also, you know, my first event with ENIL Youth was in 2015, I think, with it was the study session on sex and relationships, and that hugely opened my eyes, not in a filthy way, I might add, but yeah, really kind of helped open my eyes to other people's experience of disability discrimination and that kind of thing, and adding my voice and my ability to advocate for that was really important for me when I was and continues to be important for me. I think that one of the most important things that I've found, not just through ENIL Youth, but through other opportunities as well, is this idea of disability community and understanding and kind of growing and being able to advocate on a broader scale. And I think also I am very interested in how we kind of talk about relationships, and we talk about that kind of thing in regards to disability, because I think it's something that you know, it's something that is very, very important to a lot of people. But yeah, I've been involved in the ENIL Youth Board for 2 years now. It may feel like we've not may appear like we don't often do very much, but I think that this meeting is a part of trying to change that as well, and kind of get that conversation going around kind of where can we, not necessarily where we can support, but how we can help upskill and advocate for other young disabled people. Does that cover it enough?
Yes, Charlie, thank you. And you see, you do stuff. Even if you think you are not that active anymore, I think you are. Thank you, and joining these meetings shows that, proves that. So we had me, Marietta, and Charlie. I forgot to tell you, and sorry for that, that Lima and Charlie are the co-vice chairs of the ENIL Youth Network. The chair, the president of this network, Fatma Buric, is not with us today. She had some urgent work to do. And we also have 2 more members, so 6 in total. Fatma is from Bosnia and Herzegovina. We have Nora Eklov, hopefully I prefer it decently. She is from Sweden. She is not with us at the moment. Maybe if she has time, she will join afterwards. And maybe for the second part, we will see. And we have also Clementine Devandos. She is from the Netherlands. And yeah, she might also join maybe later. If not, yeah, we have already 3 of the youth board members with us today. So I think there is plenty of areas we can touch and discuss. And yeah, the session will be streamed and everyone can watch it afterwards. Before we go to the kind of core discussion, we would like to give you the opportunity, if you wish, to introduce yourself. I mean, you are not that many, so I would suggest, if you want, if you feel comfortable, you don't have to do it if you don't want, but if you feel okay, to say your name, your country, and I don't know, your organization, where are you, if you are from an organization. And yeah, you can either unmute and say it, or you can write it in the chat and I will read it in that case. So for example, I will say a random name, not from here, but let's say we have a John, who is from, I don't know, from France, and he is from X organization. So this is what we would like to ask you, so we more or less know who is attending the meeting. Is there any volunteer who would like to introduce yourself either by verbally or by typing?
Yeah, I can do that.
Perfect, Martin, thank you.
Yeah, my name is Martina Eliza, and I work as a political advisor at Aloba Independent Living Norway.
Perfect. Thank you, Martin. Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
We will have definitely more opportunities in a few minutes to go deeper to the discussion together with you and the rest. Let's see if there is any other volunteer that would like to briefly introduce himself or herself. Don't be shy. You can also type if you don't feel like speaking. Let's give it a few seconds, maybe someone is typing. In case you want to speak, guys, you are all muted, so yeah, I see there is a message in the chat. Let me read it for those who maybe struggle to see it for some reason. So, hello, I am Nico. I am a law student and disability rights activist who believe in social justice and concrete change in our lives for real independent living. I followed ENIL Youth session in Strasbourg 3 years ago. I am very glad to see you again and meet the new members also. The struggle is growing more visible and stronger. Keep fighting. So thank you, Nico. Nico is from France, by the way. So we have some nice diversity in our group and different countries. This is nice. Yeah, I'm sorry there is no more people, but maybe it's the time. Maybe it's evening, so people are coming back from work. I don't know. I see also Daniel typed his message. So let me read this one as well. I am Daniel, law student from Ireland, very interested in pursuing a career in disability rights between being a member of ENIL for a few years. So thank you, Daniel, as well. So Nico is a law student, Daniel is a law student, Mima is a lawyer. I see a trend here. That's an interesting thing. Very nice to have all these lawyers here. That's useful for the future generations, for our fight. Is there anyone else that would like to introduce himself or herself? Oh, new message from Maria. So hello, I am Maria. I am 30 years old and I am from Greece. I studied education. I am not working for any organization, but I am into disability rights, women's rights, women and children rights. So thank you, Maria. And Maria also says, happy Freedom Safe to all. I am happy I participate. We are also happy you are here, as all of you guys. Thank you for that. And yeah, is anyone else who would like to write something or say something? I mean, you can do it anytime. You don't have to do it now. But now it's a good opportunity. Okay, we will leave it like that. And if you feel like, yeah, if anyone feels like saying anything else, say that verbally or typing, don't hesitate. Just do it. And yeah, following in both chat and if you raise a hand, I will also make sure you look at that. So, more or less, we introduced most of us. The rest, yeah, feel free to do that if you feel like that. There's one more message, I'm sorry. Sometimes I will need to jump a little bit since the messages are coming, on the time. So Nico says, also I am a member of CLE Autistes, an organization of autistic people who defend their rights. Thank you, Nico. And this is interesting and an opportunity for me to say that ENIL is a cross-disability organization. So we are not advocating and fighting for the rights of one group of disabled people, but of everyone, whether it is people with physical disability, impairment, I'm sorry, or people with or autistic people, or people with visual impairment, or whatever else someone might have and feels like joining our movement and feels that, independent living is for them. So that is very important to say. And I see also that Daniel wrote, I have heard of this, you are doing great work. I guess this is going to Nico. I'm reading all the messages because I know that some of you might have access needs that cannot see the message, the chat, so it's good to read them. And also in case you speak, it's good, you always say who is speaking, so people who cannot see for some reason know who is speaking. And Nico replies things. So now, before we have the break in about 15 minutes from now, because we will have a small break to rest, I suggest we start a little bit the discussion. And I would like to ask you, both the board members and the people who are attending, what do you think are the most important issues young disabled face nowadays? Some of you already said it, but feel free to jump again and we maybe can start a discussion from that. Is anyone who would like to yeah, to do that, to start.
I can tell something from Norway.
Yes,
That
for sure.
I know that young disabled people have problems with getting enough assistance to live independently and to study where they want. So that is a struggle, that some may not have enough assistance to study and also to go to work and be an active member of the society. So that is a problem that we are working on in Norway. Mhm.
Thanks a lot, Martin. Indeed. So, yeah, I mean, lack of personal assistance is a very big issue for young disabled people. Yes, I saw your message, Marietta. Marietta, yeah, is a young mother, and she has a few additional obligations from an average person in our age. So we need probably to live to your baby.
Yes, but I will say that I think more or less problems are similar. We have here in Montenegro problems with employment, problems with accessibility, and Mima will tell you the best about it. I am not anymore available, and I will thank you all for understanding. And I just hope that ENIL will continue with its activities all over Europe. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Marietta. Have a nice rest of the day. I know you are very busy being, a new mother, but we appreciate you found some time to join us and to say hello. So thank you. You can watch afterwards the recording, and if there is anything for you, you can follow up, or I can let you know. So thank you, Marietta, and have a nice day. Going back to Martin and the comment about personal assistant, indeed, this is an important issue. We know from many of us cannot, as Martin said, go to education or to work or to do our lives because of the lack of assistance. So I don't know, would any of you would like to follow up on that?
I would, if nobody of the participants have something to add.
There is time for everyone, so I would say go on.
Okay, I firstly want to say hello to Nico. I was in study session with him in the same year in 2018, and it was my pleasure to meet him, and I'm happy to hear that he initiated the NGO dealing with persons with autism. I'm curious to hear whether the NGO is working on national level or at European level too. And I hope we'll have some opportunities to cooperate. I want to say that in Montenegro there are very big challenges when it comes to personal assistance, because although the law and bylaws were adopted 8 and more years ago, actually on 1st September we received the decision about the costs of personal assistance per hour. So it is a basis to start to cover the costs of this service by the state. Actually, we had all preconditions, but the law and sub-laws were not implemented at all. And now we have a first base to start to do something on personal assistance. Until now, all personal assistance services were provided to projects of DPOs mainly, and or persons with disabilities had to finance on their own the personal assistance. Generally, there is a very big problem of implementation of the legal framework we have. So young persons with disabilities are not supported to take active role in their own lives and life of society. So these lack of support make them passive. So actually they lose their best years in which they could actually realize all their potentials because of lack of support. And then it is very hard to become active in when you are older, because actually you didn't have support in your young ages, let's say, when you had enthusiasm to use all your potentials and to make changes in your life and in life of other persons with disabilities. What I see in Montenegro, considering that I'm active since 2007, is a little bit tiredness of youth generations. Actually, when I was young, so when I was 17, 18, and so on, there were a few young persons with disabilities, a few of us, who were very active, and we were very enthusiastic, and we liked to take things in our hands, to do something, to initiate some new things. But now actually there are more young persons with disabilities who, for example, study, who are enrolled in higher education, but they are not so active as we were. Also maybe the problem is in organizations of persons with disabilities, maybe I say, because in Montenegro, organizations of persons with disabilities are mainly funded through projects, and actually they used to adapt their activities to the priorities of donors, and started to be actually repeating the same or similar activities and projects. Due to that, I initiate with other two young persons with disabilities from my town. I established the new organization, Initiative Youth with Disabilities of Boca, which I'm executive director of. And I'm very interested to hear about your your opinions about your peers. Actually, do you see enthusiasm among them? Do you see willingness to be active? What do you think are there other reasons if the enthusiasm and activism among youth with disabilities in your country is not on so good level, besides the lack of support? And what about organizations of persons with disabilities? Do they encourage youth with disabilities to become active? And do you see some space for ENIL Youth Network to, let's say, to brood, let's say, to make itself more inclusive for its members. So what we can do to make you feel that you are participating, that you are changing something actually in youth network. Thank you.
Thank you, Mima. Is there anyone who would like to follow up? I don't know, to answer what Mima said, or yeah, to add something for the topic? Maria says, actually, I can't raise my hand, but I'd like to say a few things. So Maria, yeah, of course, unmute yourself. Then.
Hello to everybody. I'd like to say that I'd like to put an issue in the discussion. I think one thing people with this young disabled people we face, one problem is the lack of intersectionality. Because we are people with many identities. We are disabled, we are women, or we are men, or we are intersex, and we are black, we are brown, we are depressed, we have mental illnesses, we are orphans, or we are poor, or we are rich. But if we are rich, people can't. People invalidate our barriers, and I think it's difficult to put all this together in a discussion, and not only in a discussion, to talk to governments about this, and to say that if you are poor, it's more difficult to be disabled, even more. And that some money from the country aren't also enough for us to live independently. It's not the thing that solves the problem. If there are still barriers out in the society, like the stereotypes and the opinion that we can't work, and we can't study and follow our peers. And yes, of course, we can't study if there is not, how we say it, the language, so I'm sorry, for deaf people.
Sign language.
Yes, if there's no sign language, of course, we can't study. If there are not books with braille alphabet, and all this. I think I'm done here, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Maria, for bringing the intersectionality aspect to the discussion. I mean, now we are touching a few issues already, but I think it's good we have a quick break, so you can go to take a beverage, or to take some breath, and we give some breath also to our great captioner for the great work she does, because they are helping us on day to day and these days. And we will be back in 10 minutes, around 10 minutes. So now is 5:47. So we will be back at 6:47. No, 6:57. Oh boy, sorry. 5:57. I said it correctly. And so let me also approve one more person. I should join it now. Okay, so let me welcome quickly Andres. Thank you for joining. We were just in the process of going to a quick break, and we will be back in 10 minutes from now. Meanwhile, these guys think about the issues discussed, and if you have other topics to bring. We will have a bit more than 30 minutes afterwards to discuss about young disabled people and what is important for us. So that's it. I will put some music now from an artist named Dennis Quinn, who recorded her songs for ENIL Freedom Cell. So yes, she's from UK and I hope you will enjoy them during the break. So we are back in 10 minutes at 5:48 now because I spoke. So you don't have to leave, of course, you will have the opportunity to listen to some music. See you soon. Let me see if this will work, by the way. So I will click the song. And by the way, just to be clear, there will be no captioning in the music. See, so the break is also for the caption to take some breath. So, but we will try to caption afterwards. In the future, the music will be on our channel, so we'll make sure to caption it in the future. Hope you can enjoy it still. See you soon. Let me see if I can do it.
Yeah.
So, share screen.
Може само да ми видите. Sorry.
Oh. Can you hear that? Give me a second. I think I need to reshare it differently. 1 second. Stop sharing. I will stop my video. What is your mama? Let me see if I can now share it properly. So, share sound. Yes.
You can use from our people fighting on the fringe, banging doors, shouting let us in. To our people stuck inside, we can help you out if you dare to try. Come here, come and see, come and feel. Oh, come and be, come and hear, come and see, come and do. Oh, come with me. Gotta stop taking all the blame. We're gonna stop hanging our heads in shame. We're gonna start learning how to say no. We're gonna start making some space of our own. This world changes every day. We all take part. How did you join in today? How are we gonna change it our way? We all know something and we all have a place. Come here, come
Let me put one more song since we have some time. This one seems good time for our remaining break. Sorry, it seems the internet is a bit slow.
Your rules and boundaries are inaccessible to me. I will try my best, but it's hard to do what I don't get. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. And all it's achieved is worrying me. Really would be easier if you included me. Until you brought those rules up, I was set to succeed. I put on my pretty dress, tried to behave my best. No one was convinced, surrounded by friends, but feeling like an alien. I cannot be someone else. I cannot be someone else until I felt unwelcome. I would have been fine, but I was like a stuck record all night. Really would be easier if you included me. Till you brought them rules up, I was set to succeed. Oh, it really would be easier if you accepted me. But you set me up to fail and then put all the blame on me. So I will not watch what I say. I will not watch what I say. If you can't handle me, don't ask me to play. I'll gladly be out of your way. Really would be easier if you accepted me. But you set me up to fail and then put all the blame on me. Oh, it really would be easier if you included me. But you set me up to fail and put all the blame on me.
Okay, good. I think the time of the how you say it, of the break is over. We are 10 minutes. We did 10 minutes with the two songs. I think you like them and that you were able to listen to them properly, because I'm not used to doing Zoom, so maybe I did something wrong, but hopefully you were able to enjoy. I think personally that the songs were really nice, and they were specifically for our event, so you were also probably were able to listen, the meanings and everything. So we are coming back. Let me see if there is any chat message or something important that we need to address. Maria said we can't hear, but it's okay, just relax. But later I saw Maria dancing, so I think I fixed that. And then Nico says, I'm very happy to see you to Mima. It's hard to me to sum up the last events of my organization, but it's a national organization. Of course, open on international perspectives. Your questions are very interesting. I find the network is enlarging, getting bigger, and I think it is great. So this is from Nico to Mima, I think, but I mean also relevant to everyone. And yeah, so we have a new person attending. So very quickly to tell you, Andres, that today we will have 3 members of the youth board with us: Miroslava Mima Ivanovic, Charlie Willis, and Marieta Mojasevic, who had to leave, but she was here until the middle almost of the meeting. And yeah, we are happy to have you here. We were discussing now a bit the issues that we think, that you think, guys, that the young disabled people face nowadays. We heard about the issues of personal assistance, the lack of support. We heard about the intersectionality, and that this is not acknowledged very often. And yeah, some comments on that. So we have almost 30 minutes, half an hour.
I'm wondering if it's a good idea to start talking about it from a point of view of solutions, perhaps. I think that, obviously a lot of the issues that we're talking about and will continue to talk about for, years, and have spoken about for years, have got solutions, but the problems are inherently structural. Like, it's all about how society is built and how it is built by people in positions of power. So it's partly, this is the start of a discussion rather than the final end of a discussion. But how do you start to dismantle positions of power and create the world in the image of accessibility and disability and kind of owning that? And I do recognize what Maria was saying around kind of the intersectionality, but I think that even as a queer person myself, I think that it all comes back to who is in power and who is like controlling who gets into power. Andres, did you have a point that you wanted to make?
Sure. Good afternoon or good morning for you all. Sending you a big hug. I would like to introduce myself. I am Andres Fernando Montoya Fernandez. I am connected from Colombia, South America. I am a promoter of independent living. We got a Colombian movement of independent living. I had a grant with the Japanese Cooperation Agency. I went for a course in Japan of independent living. And because I am a paraplegic person, I'm a lawyer. I'm very interested. I follow ENIL and just ENIL a long time ago. Thanks for the invitation, for the topics. Forget my English. I try to do my best and try to connect. Good to see you and learn from you, all your experience on all the advance that the structural you got in this service is supposed to come from the States, but in our countries, this is very difficult to implement these services. For one side, because of profits, money, and for other side, because the culture. In our country, the culture is not to leave the family. We try to keep in family long time. I mean, perpetual, and that's the thing. So people prefer that the state pays them for taking care of their family with a disability and not an external person to do this service. So it's difficult, but we are learning, and that's all for now that I can say about this meeting. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Andres. Welcome from Colombia. As I understood, it's morning there. It's nice to have you. This is a nice surprise that our meeting reached us to Colombia. We don't do it every day. And thank you for sharing your experience. And yeah, the perspective you said about people not getting out and and all these things. So yeah, definitely. I don't know if anyone would like to comment either what Andres said or what Charlie said about solutions. Or anything you wish to add. We discussed today in the way that what we would like also our youth network, to focus in the future, which areas. So the solutions perspective of Charlie, in a way, is connected to that, so that we together discuss how we would like the youth network maybe to direct its actions and its work and solve in a way some of the issues we think exist at the moment in Europe and beyond. We are open to the whole world in a way, primarily to Europe by definition. So is anyone of you would like to follow up with something and to add either comments to what was said or bring a new perspective? Everything is recorded, so we will take care of that. Okay. I see there is a comment in the chat, so let me read it for those who cannot see. Maria is replying, saying, I'm not saying solution is only intersectionality. I just think that the lack of it is a severe problem and obstacle we young disabled people face. And Charlie agrees with that. So Maria followed up in writing. Thank you for that. Is there anyone else that would like to bring something? Either you ask something the youth board, or you ask something one of the other participants, or all of them, or I don't know, a lean perspective, or maybe you want to share something, what we discussed. For example, Marietta said earlier, before she leaves, that COVID young people with disabilities is an issue that we face nowadays. So we need kind of also to tackle that. Maybe you want to comment on that, I don't know.
I would like, sorry?
Yes, Nima, go on, thank you.
Okay. I would like to say that actually regarding the question Charlie asked, that firstly we have to be a part of solution. So therefore I raised this issue, this question, how ENIL Youth Network Board can improve, how we can include more youth with disabilities in our work, how we have to change in order to make youth with disabilities around Europe feeling that they are included, that they participate actively in youth network. So actually, maybe my question would be more specific: how we, individually or as a network, can be a part of solution. Do we would like to be active in some particular way, but we actually don't have, we didn't have opportunities so far. Maybe Youth Network could work on that to make opportunities happen. I'm actually very interested about that, how and where to go as a youth network of ENIL Youth Network.
Thank you, Mima. Very good question, and yeah, the approach you brought, that we need to be the part of the solution. Is there anyone that would like to follow up on the question of Mima? How can we do that? And I see Charlie is wanting to follow up first. So Charlie, I give you the floor in 1 second, just to read to those who cannot access the chat that Andres posted his contact details for anyone who would like to connect. So the Zoom link, the WhatsApp number, and the email. And Maria wrote, firstly, we need to get empowered by each other and by learning our human rights, which is, I guess, correct, of course. But Charlie, you were the one who asked him to speak.
It was more a question, actually, more a question from the point of view of would ENIL large, if that makes sense, as in not just ENIL youth, have the answers? Like, does ENIL, again, not ENIL youth, have the resources to be able to be talking to decision makers in the way that the charity and the organization would like to? Or is that an area of kind of development for the organization generally? Because I know that a few years ago, funding for ENIL was cut and things like that. And presumably, unfortunately, it may continue to be cut, and we may not, I don't know, I'm just wondering. So it's that thing of, well, where I agree with Mima's point, like, where are the decision makers that we can influence? How do we get access to them? But I'm also just wondering, you know, is the ENIL Youth Board where we might be able to ask some of those questions and get in positions of influence to attend the events where the decision makers are?
Well, I mean, I can follow up a bit on that. I don't want to speak much because it's about you speaking, but very quickly, since you brought ENIL to the discussion, indeed the founding of the large ENIL, you know, as a whole, was cut a few years ago. But now we are in the process of reapplying, since, you know, the period finished. You know, we need to reapply every couple of years, I think every 4 years or something. So we will apply now. Actually, we're working on the application now, as other similar organizations are doing at the same time. And hopefully, we hope that this time we will get funding from Commission, which of course will make our life easier and our work more strong and efficient. But in the meantime, in the years we didn't have budget, from Commission, we still proved that we are quite active and strong and resilient. We were always in touch with the policymakers in the Commission, in the European Parliament, in the UN, United Nations. So I think that reaching to them is not with governments. So reaching to them is not necessarily a problem. The problem is, if we, to come together and to decide that we want to do it for some reason. So wherever, for example, a member was approaching us in national level and said, we have this issue, we want, you to address it, we did it. We try to support, and yeah, and in some cases it was effective, in some cases not, and they don't give, much of attention to that. This is something, we cannot, influence the way. But yeah, ENIL, I think it's in the table and on the discussions, no matter if we get the budget or not. Of course, if we get it, it's totally different discussion, and it's start from a different point. But yeah, we try to do that, and we need a strong youth network also and members, to push ENIL and to push us to be more active, I think, and to address the issues we think we should fight for. By the way, in 45 minutes from now, there will be the similar meeting to one now, but with the ENIL board, the big board, and everyone, of course, is welcome to join this discussion as well. In case, any of you want to discuss with the board members of ENIL, and not only on the young perspective, but in general about independent living, everyone is welcome to do it. You can register from our ENIL website, and from our social media, you will find the links. But okay, I stopped talking because a lot of time. Stop talking. Is anyone else who would like to follow up? And maybe address a question or comment on what was said. We still have 13 minutes. 13, sorry, my pronunciation is very well, so I confused our great captioner, sorry for that. It's 1-3. So yeah, that's correct. Thank you. I know I don't speak very correct English. Sometimes I speak very quick. Sorry for that. So is anyone would like to follow up and bring something else? We take notes of everything, so we make sure to try to be. Yeah. Maybe you would like to say where you would like the youth network to direct its efforts in the near future, guys, or I don't know. What would you like to see from the youth network? Let's see if there's any comments. Verbally or in the chat. Anyway, it's comfortable for you.
I guess what we could do is maybe open up some of our steering group, kind of youth board steering group meetings, and actually get more people coming along to those a bit more regularly. So while we may not have all of the members of the youth board there, but yeah, exactly as you said, more meetings with individual young members. I think that's a good idea. I also think, yeah, what else do other people want from the youth board?
Just to say that opening the youth board meetings to the public is definitely an option if the youth board is okay with that. I guess it will. We can definitely, we note it and definitely will bring it to the discussion. I see Maria has commented exactly what were you saying, Charlie, sorry, the same thing. Yeah, any other input, guys? Either for what was discussed or, I don't know, maybe a question or an opinion for I don't see
I'm
anyone.
sorry. I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
Maria.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't understand. You asked about the topics and the subjects. What we suggest to be discussed.
That's also a possibility. That's also one possibility that, yeah, if you have a specific topic you feel that ENIL Youth Network would take care a bit more in the future, this is also, we are also very welcome to listen to it. And I mean, anything else you have as a feedback for the work of ENIL Youth Network. But yeah, if you have any topic you want to bring, now it's the time. I don't see someone reacting immediately. Maybe someone is typing. In the meantime, maybe I can take the opportunity and tell you that we have one more session today after this one at 7 Brussels time, and 3 sessions tomorrow and 2 sessions on Thursday. And you can, I mean, with very interesting topics, from personal assistance in various countries to, yeah, to meeting the World Independent Living Network, for example, with people from Japan, Costa Rica, and I don't know, you know, from the whole world. And, you know, a lot of interesting sessions. We discuss about the 30 years of ULOBA. We'll discuss about monitoring of Article 19, about, there will be a workshop tomorrow at 12 about how to use social media for storytelling and storytelling techniques to promote independent living. And of course, the meeting with the ENIL board tonight. So all this you can find in the link I am pasting now in the chat, and you can register anytime, even now. And now I will ask again if you have any additional question or feedback, or maybe to share an experience, your experience for the others to listen. This is an opportunity to create a network, to discuss something that might bother you. So don't hesitate.
I am already registered at all the events. As I say, I follow you a long time ago. I think giving some effort to the topics, that is a good thing to show experience, personal experience, how everybody deals with their own lives and related with the person that do the assistance. And I agree with Maria that to promote more meetings, and not just at Europe. You can extend it to America and make networks. I think it's good. And I agree with Charlie that we have to go to the UN nations to show how I mean how far is being implementing Article 19, but also how much we did to get it in the rest of the world. How can we help to other countries, other people with disabilities and families to get implemented these services at their countries? I think making a strong network, it will be good for all. I close my microphone there.
Thank you, Andreas. Thank you with your feedback, and it's nice that you registered for all the sessions and very interesting in following up. Extending to out of Europe, it's something we definitely know and try to do. You know, by definition, we were created and we are a European network, but we have connections also with out of Europe organizations. We are members of the World Independent Living Network, which is meeting, by the way, in Thursday. at 3 Brussels time. So yeah, feel free to join there. Yeah, definitely. What you said is very to the point in all aspects. I also see that Martin wrote that I have to leave. Thank you all for the amazing job that you do. She left. Nicola said, no more things to say. Thank you, Camille. And Maria said, I'm wondering if there are or will be conversation about families and how they can also institutionalize young disabled people who don't even think about going to university, for example, because of this situation. This is an interesting topic. What do you guys think? Nima, Charlie from the board, but also everyone else.
Yes, it is interesting. It's a very important topic.
Yes, indeed, families play a big role and can be our allies, but they can be also our, maybe the conflicting interests, not necessarily of bad intention. But okay, what do you others think? We have 4 minutes left, so now is the time to say something. I don't see anyone typing something. Okay. If you maybe you have, let's say, a few more seconds for your and for the last opportunity to share something or to ask something. We discussed it today. Very interesting things, I think. The issues that are bothering young disabled people and not necessarily young. We need to find the solution. We need to focus on solutions. We need to be part of the solutions. Yeah, we discussed about resources. We discussed about how we can extend out of the European perspective and become a stronger and international network. Let me know if there is something I forgot and would you like to add to the discussion. I mean, the meeting will be recorded on our YouTube and on our social media. Is there anything to that last minute follow-up? Question or experience, or should we call it up?
I just wanted to say, as I mentioned before, this isn't the kind of end of these conversations, and hopefully we can continue to keep them going. And I think that we're hoping that ENIL Youth will, although I'm not sure who among the board is going to be doing this, will be represented at the larger kind of independent living and disability rights organizations that was mentioned in our last kind of steering group meeting. So hopefully that can enable us to speak on a kind of larger stage, as Andreas mentioned. Yeah, I think it's been great to see a couple of people and meet a few of you. So thank you so much for continuing to engage with us.
Thank you,
We
Charlie.
thank you very much. No, I'd like to say it was very nice to meet you all. And Mima, of course, because I'm a fan. And this.
Mima, you are a rock star.
I don't think that, I don't know, I'm some person which is suitable to have fun. But okay. Actually, we have to see just that, yeah, we are part of solution for ourselves and for others. We can be. Actually, we have two roads to be passive and to be sleepy and I don't know, to die or to struggle with all barriers and actually through helping ourselves we make a road easier for others because we passed it already. So for somebody else would be easier. And I hope that ENIL Youth Network will continue to be a road tunnel for young persons with disabilities, and the space where young persons with disabilities become strong leaders in disability rights.
Thanks a lot, Mima. To paraphrase your saying, your great saying, we have two roads. One is to be passive, one is to be active. And I think the ones that you are here choose the second, to be active and to do something for our peers and for other disabled people, whether young or not. So thanks a lot for being here. Now we are at 6:30. We have to close our meeting. Unless there is any other burning question or remark, I will give you 10 seconds for you in case there is someone that wants to jump in very urgently.
Thanks for the space, and nice to meet you all. Thank you.
Thank you also, Andres, for joining today, and see you in the next sessions in these days. So, yeah, thank you all for joining today. It was very great to see you. We were not that many, but I think we discussed some nice things. And, we recorded it so more people will be able to see it afterwards. I noted the idea of having people joining the youth meetings in the future. I think this is something doable and interesting. So thank you all. Thank you also for our great captioner who captions everything we say, no matter if you speak slow or quick, good or bad English. It's always there. So thanks a lot, Julia, for that. Thank you all for joining. Thank you also to the youth board members who were here. And yeah, have a nice rest of the day. See you in the other ending meetings. And I see Nico sent already, bye, my friends. So guys, see you. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye. See you.
Bye.
See you. Bye.
Bye. Now let me stop the recording. Yeah.